you a presentation that I actually have done multiple times in different counties, different municipalities, and share some of my thoughts as a researcher and as a gerontologist. So really just forget about my ED role here, just like I'm more like a social scientist here, okay? So Lorena mentioned that, yeah, I'm a gerontologist. So in fact, all my 3 degrees when I came to Canada, yeah, I don't even know why, but like all my 3 degrees are in gerontology. So when I was 21, I was already studying that, okay? So yeah, I'm 44 right now, so today I'm gonna talk about ageism, talk about my definition of seniors, and also talk about how we can work together to combat social isolation, because that's one of the number one, well, not one of the number one, there's a wrong English expression. The number one issues affecting seniors right now, not just in Canada, but actually across the world, all over the world, okay? So first, take a look at the definition. Probably some of you cannot see, so I'm gonna read it here. So ageism refers how we think, how we feel, and how we act, okay? But the key is here, towards others and ourselves based on age. So a lot of time, what I keep telling people, right, is just like, who are really discriminating our seniors? Yeah, a lot of time, maybe you say, well, young people and people don't respect you a lot of time, but sometimes if we look at ourselves, a lot of time when you get up in the morning, you say, oh, I'm old, right? And then when coming to the center, and a lot of time you're gonna find some excuses for yourself. You say, well, I'm too old for this, right? And I mean, like, quite often, it might sound like a joke, but quite often you're giving that sense to yourself. And also, I remember one of my instructors who passed away a couple of years ago. That was the time I actually decided to do some presentations like this to talk about age, talk about ageism, right? Like he actually said, Haidong, getting old really sucks. And then he said, age is a cancer, is a disease. And I didn't know what to answer at that time, but I felt like, okay, I gotta do something. So I want you to understand ageism. Yeah, okay, some other people might do that to you, but a lot of time, you consider yourself, like you should be the person who's also not doing that to yourself, okay? I want to talk about ageism from the angle of defining the term seniors. When you look at the term seniors, or if you Google it right now, think about it. Like Google it, find it on internet, you won't be able to find any other logo like this, right? Like you see, I purposely picked this one. It looks cool and it's vibrant, and then people like really kind of like that seniors give you the energy, right? But when you type in seniors on Google or whatever, those are gonna be the icons that's gonna show, okay? So that's the perception about senior. And now I'll show you a couple of other things that are just kind of like stereotype, reinforcing ageism, eh? So that's the decline memory piece. So it's that I'm speeding because I have to get to where I'm going before I forgot where I'm going. So that's the decline memory, right? Limited social life. So my social life has really picked up lately with all these health clinic visits, right? So that's one of them. And then, of course, this one is actually the one I love too, because I always just say, I don't really want to see my doctor because they're going to find something wrong about me every single time, right? So I thought I'm perfect, but every time they just say no, right? You need to go and do your blood work. And then the next one, I'm sure you guys will have a lot of experience. You're not technology savvy, so you're getting... If they're cute like that, you might not feel like it's discrimination. But if it's somebody like me saying that to you, you're gonna say, that's discrimination, right? So, yeah, so how will we define age, right? So globally, when I was doing my dissertation, the research, one of the key things I need to identify or define, how will we define seniors? So globally, there are different age brackets, okay? So they've got 50, 55, 60, 65, and then I'm from China, so in mainland China, for women, they could retire as early as 50. For men, they could retire as early as 55, okay? But the other day, I wasn't really purposely looking for this picture, but when I look at it, and then I don't know how would I express my feeling because I found it funny, but at the same time I was offended. Okay, this is a picture in China. You won't read English, a Chinese word. Okay, says Happy Mid-Autumn Festival. If you're age 40, with your ID, you will be able to collect 10 eggs from the grocery store. So, Andre, how old are you now?
I'm 40 now, so I'm
okay,
excited.
congratulations. So if you go to China with me, I mean, the second when you land it, you go to the grocery store, you say, hey, I'm 40. So you're able to collect 10 eggs. Yeah, okay, so I mean, that was a little bit offensive to me. I was like, what the heck? Right? So why are we so negative about the word senior? I mean, like really, I look at from the dictionary, right? Like think about the one I highlighted. It says a person with high ranking or high standing or rank, or a student in the year preceding graduation from a school of secondary or higher level, and like. We can also look at this one, right? I mean, a lot of time in the in companies, like if you say I'm a senior manager, that means you're in a higher level, right? Like nobody will be ashamed of that if other people introduce them. Hey, I'm a senior manager, but they won't associate that, right? But then the next one, so really that's a question, right? I'm about to ask our government officials here is that like. Why our government, like the policy, the grants and everything, more and more, we're deciding to take away that word, seniors. So right now it's older people, older adults. And then people try to say, oh, seniors are so offensive, let's change it to adults age 55 and plus, right? Like that's the kind of thing I think from my perspective, I felt like our government, in a way, it's reinforcing that stereotype, even through the grants and everything, right? So I started thinking about what are the deeper reasons for why we're so afraid of being called a senior. One of the reasons I think is because we're living in a youth-obsessed culture. So it's already like reinforced by multimedia like TV, social media, that kind of stuff. But like just take a look at this number. I'm sure, I mean, like one thing is a little bit side topic. So when I came to Canada, when I met my wife started coming to see what I'm doing at the center, right? But one thing she always comment is about our ladies here at the center, because she usually comes here for events, and then she said, oh my God, I wish our parents in China will be like the seniors here, because look at all those beautiful ladies. They all wear makeup, they wear high heels, right? Like they dress properly, they dress nicely. And then I said, yeah, that's who they are every day, right? So imagine how much money you guys are putting on your makeup. Right? I don't know, like has any of you spent some money on anti-aging stuff? Well, for me, I know, because not only I have my mom, 2 sisters, and of course my wife, and I have to buy those things for them. But also, like, I actually like, I personally like shopping. So when I look at things, and then like, when I look at the cream, right, like the day cream, if it's like, for example, Lancome. For that brand, the regular cream is like 120, something like that. But yeah, but if you want to get something like the golden, those little bottle thing, they're 350, and that price was about 5 years ago. I'm sure right now the price probably go up a little bit more, right? So see how much money you guys are spending on anti-aging stuff, because you just say, well, I don't want to look old, right? Like nobody wants to come into the building and then everybody say, hey, you look amazing because you look exactly matching your age, right? Like no, you're not gonna like that, right? So when we talk about like the cost, imagine how much money people are gonna spend, and this is like $1 billion, right? Like a market. So sometimes when I look at that, I almost felt like I'm probably in the wrong business. That I should be selling like stuff like this, right? Because you see, just for a little, and they even got foot mask. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it seems like, well, women, you guys are beautiful. So every part of you needs this kind of stuff. So I can imagine how much money we can make from you if I'm the salesperson. Right? Well, sorry guys. I mean, I know some gentlemen will use that too, but a lot of times we don't. Right? Or we use them leftover from our wife or siblings. So the other deeper reason is actually the Industrial Revolution. So we're actually undergoing the fourth revolution, Industrial Revolution at the moment. So it's big data. We're talking about artificial intelligence, all those things, right? So the stereotype coming from that is that in the past, right? Imagine for seniors, you might feel you're offended because you're like, well, the kids will never listen to me anymore. They just get online, they Google it for 10 minutes, and then they believe they're the expert, right? But then you all of a sudden felt like, so how about my 30, 40 years experience? So it seems like I have nothing I can really share with you, right? But no, that's not true, right? However, just like the Industrial Revolution really is creating that impact, and the digital divide, right? Like it's creating that, and there is not a lot of support for you guys to get used to it. And I mean, even for our center, we see that difference, right? Half of our registration is through the online system. So, and I think the deepest reason is for us to be afraid of being called a senior is because we are afraid of death. We don't want to talk about it, right? So stereotype, a lot of time, imagine for younger people, sometimes they really have nothing to say at the end, and then they just say, I'm younger than you, right? That's all their argument. So it's not like I'm good, better than you or whatever. I'm just like, oh, I'm younger than you. So that almost becomes an advantage, and then, well, you can't really argue that. But at the same time, right, like that's stereotype comes from that angle because they don't, like, people don't want it to be called old, right? So from my perspective, I think the entire culture globally, right? Like people talk about in China, like they say, you guys Asian people, that's stereotype from you guys too, because a lot of times you guys say, well, Asian people are very respectful to seniors. Okay. In my culture, for women especially, if you're 25 and you're not getting married and you don't have kids, you're done. Your life is done. Okay, you have no future because you're too old. Okay, so for me, I was like, okay. So I guess I would like to suggest 3 different approaches to combat ageism, right? So one of them, well, because of my research background, so a lot of time I would like to share research with people, but I'm talking about serious and true research. It's not just like the things I just Google and then just say, hey, that's true, right? No, when we go through all the PhD training, one of the things we know is that, oh my God, like the amount, my literature review is 60 pages. Like, I pretty much had to read about 300 articles to go, like, to find all of those things, right? So I would like to share one of the research with you is do you guys know, well actually, I myself would even argue that it's not even late 80s. Like as long as you're still alive, your body still has the potential to build muscle mass. And that's why I keep saying like do more resistance training. I'm not against you doing cardio, which is great for your heart, right? For your breathing, for everything, but do more resistance training, okay? Because you're gonna lose muscle, but by doing resistance training, you're actually gaining something, okay? So I would like to share a quick video. I really like this one because I just felt like every time
I never use the word I can. I would just simply say I would try. That's the way I live my life. It's just trying to do my best every day. So when I was into the track and field for the seniors over the age of 50, I wanted to become better, to have a little edge in life. So I started the weight training. So little by little, I got stronger and stronger. So this is gun would go off, boom. I dust those ladies. That was 4 years ago. And since then, I have been a competitive power lifter. Oh, that old lady, she lifted, and they said, ooh, and ah, when I was able to do some of my accomplishments. I do the deadlift at 215 pounds in competition. I weigh 105. I do the power curl at 60 pounds. My friends, they say to me, wow, I can't believe that you're into the powerlifting, because a lot of women that are seniors, as yet, they're not into the powerlifting, which makes me, I guess, appear very strange to a lot of people, but I can do what I do, and I'm proud of it. I can shovel my own snow, especially when I'm trying to get my car out of the garage. I'm shoveling, thanks to the power training. And guess what? My car got stuck. I'm pushing my car, which is a fabulous thing. Powerlifting. My grandchildren, I can lift them up without any problem. And the best of all, I don't need any help when I'm carrying my groceries. You see, that's what it's about. It's about life. L-I-F-E. Life.
And yeah, I really love that video every time when I watch it, and then like I don't understand why they call lifting the dumbbell, a barbell called deadlift, but thinking about it in a positive way, so we're lifting the dead, right? Like so we try to get rid of that. But okay. So I would like to share another research is a 75-year Harvard study, longitudinal Harvard study. The most important factor in human happiness are actually love and connection to others. Okay, not anything else, like not money. And imagine the target people they study at that time were people, Harvard students. And you can imagine people graduated from Harvard, right? Like there are a lot of them will be in the, I would say, upper or middle class, and they will have a very successful life. But then at the end of the day, none of those really matter that much. It's always the love and the connection to others. So they found that like life satisfaction across lifespan represents a U shape. So every time when I see this one, I'm depressed because I'm right there, right? And I mean, last year it proved that too, because last year I lost my father. So it was a tough year, last year for me. I just went back this year in the summer for my father's 1 year, but then I look at like my mom and everything, right? So I think about like people like me in my age cohort. It's really tough, right? Like you got kids to look after, like the sandwich generation. And a lot of time we're almost like the McDonald's hamburger, and the piece of meat is actually not cooked, right? So we're kind of like that uncooked meat. We're stuck there, right? So not very happy, and So you guys are actually in a perfect place. This is the time for you to pursue that happiness. Okay, so this is another research study talking about like the difference between pleasure and happiness. I'm not going to go into the detail for that, but is there anybody can anybody without seeing it just give me a quick example? What kind of activities would you do you will get that pleasure? Anybody? Like give me an example.
Exercise.
Sure.
Game playing.
Of course.
Going for a walk outside.
Yeah. All of those, right? Like it's addictive. Like for example, eating good food, right? Like drinking, right? Like, but what will give you happiness? A lot of time when I started talking about this, people would say, well, you're just trying to trick us and encourage us to volunteer for you. I was like, yeah, no, not really, but no, it's about inspire giving, like volunteering at a soup kitchen, like it's not addictive, right? But at the end of the day, what I wanted to say, there are a lot of research about this. If you're interested, you can look at it later, but here's one thing they say. One thing for sure, you cannot buy happiness. You cannot bookmark it for tomorrow. Pleasure is simple. You can buy it. It can be sold, right? So happiness is earned. So yeah, so the secrets of happiness can be summarized as 4C, right? So connect, contribute, cope, and cook. So connection, cope, like I truly encourage you. I mean, because for the past so many years, I've been through a lot of stress. One thing I've been doing actually every day is the meditation, the deep breathing thing. And like be mindful, like love yourself, right? Because like you only live once in this world. If you don't love yourself, who else is gonna love you, right? The second you love yourself, you started generating that positive energy, and then you started spreading that positive vibe to the people surrounding you, and then we're creating that beautiful connected love circle. So the second approach I mentioned before is the challenging your attitude about getting old, right? So for me, I always, when people, now I remember if that instructor is still around, I actually would tell him that, you know, getting old it's an achievement. It's a blessing and it's a privilege. Because look at every day what is happening around the world. A lot of people, a lot of kids, they don't even have the chance to live longer, right? For us to live this long, the fact that you guys are able to see, sometimes I felt like you guys are the most fortunate generation. Why? Think about the music. Think about the sport, especially music. Hello, 1970s, 1980s. What kind of music are we listening right now? Like, I don't even want to listen to them, right? Like every day, and the tricks that, like, for example, I don't try to offend anybody, but think about Michael Jackson, right? Like, somebody might not like him, but think about him. A lot of tricks nowadays people are doing, like, come on, that guy did it how many decades ago, right? So you guys live in a golden age, like, and the world. Yeah, I got Cold War, got some of that kind of stuff, but Canada was great, right? Like it's not that bad. So really, you guys have the privilege to actually see. For some of the people who live over 100 years, they even told me, they say, well, at that time, actually, transportation is just a horse, right? And now it's what? It's plane, it's ship, it's car, it's like just all the modern transportation. So you guys really, just like I'm jealous. I envy you, like for actually seeing all of that. For me, sometimes I'm just thinking about artificial intelligence, and I don't know what's gonna happen. And sometimes I felt like, well, because I went to some training, and then there are some people come and do the lesson, and then at the end, I don't understand why that presenter throw this at the end and just say, there's a 10% of chance this world is going to be destroyed in the next 5 years by AI. And I said, wow, that's very positive. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah. So actually, the third approach is because I mentioned about how can we define seniors to use that senior concept to combat ageism. So as Lorena mentioned, we're building a platform. It's called We Seniors, right? Like We Seniors, it's our website too. If you click on our website, it says weseniors.ca. So we changed the website in 2018, and one of the rationale behind that was, as a gerontology, I believe that we're all seniors. The concept behind that is because seniors network involves family, friends, neighbors, and caregivers, right? For people with dementia, for people with some kind of diseases, they're not the decision makers. So for people who are from the other countries, if they don't speak English or French, they're not the decision makers. So a lot of the time, it's the people surrounding them are decision makers. So the We Seniors platform started reaching out to benefit even more people. Okay, and that shapes our concept to provide wraparound support. Our goal is to address social isolation. I'm not going to go into the research side of the social isolation, but I mean, I'm sure you guys know the negative impact of social isolation, and that's why you guys are here. And thank you for coming to the organization. Whether you are a member of the organization or not, like the fact that you're coming to attend this kind of session, that's a great step to make, right? So those are just some of the research talking about, I mean, number one issue affecting Canada and also affecting the world for seniors, right? And also social isolation. The statistics says 1 in 4, but I always keep arguing that I said everybody is at risk of social isolation, because regardless how much money you have, the second you lose your driver's license, the second you lose your spouse, the second you experience some like dramatic life changes, you may become socially isolated, right? And sometimes some of the seniors will say, well, no, I'm not socially isolated. My grandkid just FaceTimed me 2 weeks ago. Okay, yeah, but we're talking about, right? Like a lot of time when people say I'm socially isolated, that almost becomes a shame. That becomes something that well, it seems like I got no friends, I'm no value to anybody. But that's why for us, we love this organization. We wanted to build a social connection network for you. I always like to quote one of our former MLA, Ross Sherman's a phrase, is that this is not a senior center, it's a senior high school. Right? So you come here for fun. We don't encourage you to fight. We do have people fight. We deal with it, but and then the angry person will call Anjanak and just complain, and then just say, yeah, the senior center is discriminating us, kind of thing. But, it's okay. But so we're building this We Seniors platform, and then as you can see, well, that's actually our logo for the We Seniors Strathcona County, and the whole map is an age-friendly map. So all of those things are the things that this organization is currently doing. Just in case you may not know, okay, the organization in 2011 only have one pager program, double-sided, and the back side is rental and a line dance group outside, okay? So we only have one yoga class, one fitness class, and 2 or 3 drop-in activities. Okay, so the organization at that time, the membership was around 700-800 people. Our revenue was around $500,000 to $700,000, something like that, annually. And right now, we're $1.8 million. We have over 100 programs. We have a satellite location in Strathcona County. We received contract from them to build a similar network for them. And currently we're offering programs in 2 community leagues, 2 churches, and 2 elementary schools. Okay, so the elementary school one is a fun one, so if you're interested, again, well, you guys might say I'm a recruiting volunteer. Yeah. So here are just some of the examples that the We Seniors platform try to do, okay? But for the We Seniors, I'm just gonna say another not so funny joke. It's just like, when we first came up with the We Seniors platform, we got some angry seniors coming to us, and then I didn't even know why the person was so angry. And then later I figured out, oh, okay, the person said, why do you guys call yourself We Seniors? And then, well, We Seniors, well, and then I explained everything, right? And then the person said, so you guys are not related to Justin Trudeau's We Foundation? I said, no, I said, we actually means West End. So it has nothing to do with anything else. We means West End, okay, no. So you know what, man. Sometimes you need to defend yourself, right? So, yeah, so gotta come up with some of that. So these are just some of the examples. So at the moment, the organization, we form an alliance called the YAG Seniors Alliance, and later become the Alberta Seniors Alliance, and we're the only organization that actually is managing a website called seniorfraudalert.ca. This is the only one across Canada, according to Canadian Anti-Aging Center, like dealing with fraud. And it's not the time to do an announcement yet, but if I do, it will be probably in November, December. We do receive some potential funding to continue to promote seniors fraud, and also reaching out to seniors across the entire the greater Edmonton area. So this organization, a lot of time, has become not just a physical center. Okay, some people they worry. They say, oh, so if we're expanding that much, will we be able to still support our seniors here? Trust me, this center will even get more. We're gonna have more staff with the proper funding. We're gonna have more support. The program will be enriched, and then we'll be partnering with all the other facilities. Like for some of the classes, if you're not able to register, and we will help you to hopefully sign up in the community that's in your area, right? Like, but I know you guys love our food, so sorry. I mean, like sometimes it's a bit hard. Those are just some of the examples. So you see, we have all those partnerships, and we've been doing a lot of research with the universities. For this one, just like every year, we do the flu clinic here, right? So just come back and sign up for it, right? Like the couple from the pharmacists, like they both got their PhD in pharmacies, and they just love this initiative every single time because it's almost like an exercise for them. They're pretty much just putting needles in 200-300 people, right? So they love that. So yeah, so our goal is to provide a wraparound support and create leveraging all those win-win partnership with our businesses. We've got businesses that are sponsoring a lot of our events, and like, for example, the door prizes that you guys are getting, and the active aging, all those things, right? So at the end, I just wanted to conclude my presentation by just reading this. So a sign of wisdom and maturity is when you come to terms with realization that your decision caused your rewards and consequences. You're responsible for your life, and your ultimate success that depends on the choices you make. And this gentleman started rowing at the age of 63. At 85, he added running to his workout. 87, he began lift weights. 95, he took up sprinting. He died 97, I believe. And then, I mean, really, sometimes I almost felt like probably he hasn't won any medals before 50, so that's why he wanted to windows, and almost there was no competitors, right? So I think that video, every time I show it, it's been a very impactful video. So it's your choice. And the fact that you're here listening to, attending this kind of event, you're already making great choices. And the organization is here to work with our supportive politicians. Like they're your public servants, right? Like we have great relationship with people like Londak, with Anjanak, with Brooks, with all the other politicians like Kelly McCauley. I understand there are like different political opinions among different people, but take all of that aside. They are your elective government officials. Take advantage of them, okay? So just like visit their office, talk to them. I know Londak love talk, so Anjanak felt like he has nobody to talk, so he decided to go and do the door knocking to talk to people purposely, right? Like so really, I mean, he's not gonna be socialized later, I can tell you. Yeah. So I guess at the end of the day, it's just like, okay, here, we seniors, I want you to be proud of being part of it, and we are committed making this organization better. We're committed making this organization a different organization. We're not competing, we're trying to collaborate with other people. We're funding a lot of smaller organizations. We're also trying to help them to grow their capacity. We really don't care whether you are our members or not. If you need help, come to us. A lot of our programs and services are free. Like our outreach services are free, okay? And of course, at the end of the day, so nothing else really is that important. Happiness is the most important thing, and that's what I have been telling my staff. This is just a job, okay? So be happy and spread that positive energy with the people, okay? Well, be happy. Thank you very much.